17 years ago, I had an infant son, and a few years prior, I got in some legal trouble, and I needed to secure employment, and I needed to secure housing and possibly schooling opportunities so I would be an effective, successful mother. That was something that I always aspired to do. So I enrolled my son into Early Head Start at Community Action Council here in Lexington, Kentucky, and I was partnered with a community development worker. I'm not quite sure what the title was at the time, but this person believed in me. She told me that I had the grit to make something of myself if I would follow the protocol. So she introduced me to many programs. She helped me get signed up for welfare, KTAP, so I was able to help my son and do what I needed to do and be successful while doing it. I was 21 years old. I had 2 babies under the age of 2, and I was a 2-time felon. So it just seemed like all the cards were just stacked against me. But my worker was just really diligent and encouraging me and saying, VaShaun, if you want it hard enough, if you want it bad enough, just continue to work hard. I would say like about 2 years when it finally clicked, when I realized that I'm not just a single mother, I'm not just a felon, I'm not, a statistic. I actually have the possibility to become something. I took entry-level positions as a temporary worker. I had to work temporary because I couldn't get hired on full-time because of my background, but I would continually take temp jobs just to get the exposure and the experience so I could move forward. I did that for 7 years. After 7 years, I got my record expunged, and I was able to apply for a full-time job. Went through, again, several temp services until I found the full-time job that was really a good fit for me. I became the executive assistant to the vice president of global services operations at Lexmark International, and I worked my way up from the bottom kind of to the top tier position there. Had many success there. I worked there for about 3.5, 4 years. So I branched out, kind of took a leap of faith and stepped out into entrepreneurship. And I launched my first enterprise, VaShaun Enterprises, which is a publishing house and social media marketing firm. I had a natural aptitude for social media, and I hooked up with a publisher out of Louisville, Kentucky that gave me the training to become a publisher here in Lexington. I wrote 2 books, published 2 books through my publishing house, and published 2 books of my mother's as well. From there, we scaled to what I do now, VaShaun Consulting. That is my second micro enterprise, and what that is a staffing agency based out of Lexington and Louisville, Kentucky. And my hope is to help young single mothers and felons become gainfully employed. I want to shout out the worker. Her name is Keisha Ragland. I'm not sure if she still works for Community Action, but I don't know if you understand what you have meant to my life. You believed in me, and going through the court system, going through KTAP, going through state services, it can be very hard. And I remember there were days that I wouldn't follow up with appointments, and there were days that I didn't follow up on what she told me to do, and she was hard on me, but I'm glad she was hard on me. You helped shape me into the woman that I am today, and I can think back 17 years and just appreciate your tenacity. And I know public service is a hard job because it can be thankless because people don't appreciate how hard you go for them and what you do for them, and the moves you have to make for them to make them successful. But I can remember letters being written by you. I have one of your letters of recommendation to this day, and my plan is to frame it and put it in my office. I would never forget that you went hard for me, and I just appreciate the fact that you cared for me, you cared for both of my children.